I am, um, I'm not doing alright right now. But I think that's probably what makes this a really good time to stream, I think. Just, you know, I don't even really know what it is, to be perfectly honest. I'm just really struggling right now. You know, could be experience and whatnot, just sort of stress and whatnot, you know, things building up and whatnot, but it just seems like nothing's nothing's really working, nothing's working right now. Oh, forgot to fill up water. I'll we'll do that real quick. Well, let's let's spend a little time doing this and you know, not that this is sort of my way to try and get better, but I think it's good for me to try and get this stuff out at the very least. So, you know, I was trying to distract myself. That wasn't really working. Tried to, you know, busy myself with something. Something to try and keep myself distracted, productive, you know, that usually helps me. And, you know, if it's for helping out other people, it's also usually a good thing. And, you know, if it's for... But, without further ado, let's get into singing a song. Here's a song that I've always wanted to sing. Never tried it before. I don't think I'm going to be able to sing it right, so I'm probably going to fail a lot, but let's just give it a shot. Fireflies, million little pieces, feeds a dying light, brings me back to life. In your eyes, I see something to believe in. Your hands are like a flame, your palm is sweet as pain. Let your darkness lead us into the light. Let our dreams get lost, feel the temperature rise. Baby, tell me one more beautiful lie. One touch and I ignite. Like a starship speeding into the night. You and I get lost in the infinite lights. Baby, tell me one more beautiful lie. One touch and I ignite. So alive, It touches like daylight, burning on my skin, and turns me on again. You and I, survivors of the same kind, we're only ones, and dancing on the sun. Let the darkness lead us into the light. Let our dreams get lost, feel the temperature rise. Baby, tell me one more beautiful lie. One touch and I ignite, like a starship speeding into the light. You and I get lost in the infinite nights. Baby, tell me one more beautiful lie. One touch and I ignite. Diamonds are forever, but all we need is tonight. We're monumental tremors that can freeze the speed of light. Just like particles that's falling from heaven over the stars. I hear you calling for me. I hear you calling me home from afar. Let the darkness lead us into the light. Let our dreams get lost, feel the temperature rise. Baby, tell me one more beautiful lie. One touch and I ignite. I feel the heat as we collide, like a fear that feels so right. So baby, tell me one more beautiful lie. One touch and I ignite. 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 That actually wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was gonna be. To be perfectly honest. Obviously there's more to that song. I would assume that all of you would, know Alan Walker and whatnot. And that's a song called Ignite. Actually not the first song that I learned called Ignite. There's, I don't remember who it's by, but it was for a League of Legends commercial, maybe animated music video. It went from a spark to an open flame. Now destiny's calling out your name. So reply and ignite. 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 Yeah, that sort of techno stuff. Just I'm just so wound up right now, and it's so many things. I'm not angry. I'm upset, I think, is the most generic word that you can use to describe, but, I'm just wound up, and I don't know how to let out stuff like this, That's sort of the whole reason why I was trying to get into streaming, I guess, to sort of put myself out there and, talk about stuff. Because I have so much stuff on my mind that's been on my mind forever that, I'm always having conversations like this to nobody, just, I guess, with myself. And so it's better to sort of put them out into the world, I suppose. Just sort of get it out there, I guess. Get it off my chest, you know. And I've always felt this way that, you know, talking about stuff never helps me. You know, I always feel like I'm just sort of describing it, you know, explaining it to people so they can, you know, understand, I suppose. Talking about me, my problems, what I'm feeling, what I'm going through, doesn't feel good. You know, it doesn't help me to get it out there, to get it into words, tangible, you know, to explain it, to understand it, and get it out there. But also to sort of get it off my mind and explain it to someone else. That never helps me or makes me feel better. You know, if I ever talk to somebody about what I'm thinking or feeling, and spreading that gunk around, it just usually it makes me feel worse. But most of the time, it doesn't help. And then I've bothered someone else, wasted my time and their time, and now they're worried about me, and I don't want that. So I guess I'm streaming, so the entire world can hear. So they can suffer along with me. You know, they say misery loves company. And most people think that means that, you know, sharing, you know, like spreading it around helps you feel better, because if people are also miserable, it makes you feel better. I don't see it that way. You know, it's not a good thing, you know. It's like the cat in the hat thing, where, you know, if you got a stain and you spread it to something else, you just keep spreading around until it's on everything. But I think what it means when misery loves company is sometimes you just need somebody. You know, not someone to talk to, someone to listen, but someone to be there, in it, with you, or just with you, beside you, just so you know that you're not alone. Never had that. I've never had someone beside me when I was going through something. You know, someone there that understood, that was with me through it. You know, not just supporting me, but, you know, someone to come alongside and recognize that, you know, this does suck, but at least you're not alone. I've never had that. I've spent most of my life alone, suffering quietly, holding it all in. And it gets to a point where you just can't. But it was already too late for me, because I had become so used to holding it in, you know. I learned how to bottle it up and hide it and pretty much prevent the entire world from knowing. I learned how to become invisible. Not just soft-spoken, but unspoken. Non-existent, and, you know, intangible. So when I did try to reach out, I don't know how to explain to all of you what it means to be in that place where you are so lost and disconnected from everything and just buried, sinking drowning in absolute misery, and to reach out, to scream, to try and find something, anything, anyone, and to have nothing. I don't know how to describe that to you guys, but that's what I've been through. And honestly, I don't know how I got back out, or even if I did. I did something stupid again today. I went onto someone's stream that I liked. Was intrigued, impressed, jealous, and I did the only thing I knew how to get attention. I donated the max amount of subscriptions you can do, 100 subs, which is $500. My bank account is not looking very good. I have all of my credit cards maxed out. I don't know why. It wasn't something that was cool. It wasn't for them. It was for me. I was trying to be noticed, appreciated, liked, to get some sort of response from someone whose opinion I cared about. And they said thank you. They also asked why. And like everything else, I said it was no big deal. And truthfully, it isn't. Money's not... I don't care about money. It's not something that's important to me. It holds no value other than sort of what it relates to. But honestly, I don't spend money. I don't spend money on myself, hardly at all. It's hard to think about myself. For a moment, it felt good, like I was big, like I was something. But as the chat messages keep scrolling, slowly but surely, I was washed over, forgotten. Because who's gonna remember a random name that threw money at famous streamer? I don't know why I did it. I was just trying. Can I do this all the time? With anyone who ever means anything to me, I try so hard to... I go over the top and try and do something that will blow their mind, just so they can get a glimpse of how I feel about them. But it never lasts, They will never know what they mean to me. It doesn't matter how much time I spend with them, how much, you know, all the words that I say, all the things that I do could never truly, wholly describe or explain, make them understand my point of view, my perspective. Because people have their own lives, have their own things that they're doing, But as for me, I have nothing other than other people. I don't know how to be happy. All I know is how to make other people happy. How to, try and find something from interacting with other people. I can't feel anything unless it's given to me by something or someone else. And that's just sad. I don't know how. I don't know what to do. I'm trying to be normal. I'm trying to interact with people again, socialize and spend time with them and be normal, I suppose. But it doesn't work like that. If there's anything I've learned about interacting with other people, is that it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you say or do. It doesn't matter how much time or money you spend on them. People are only always ever who they are. And there's nothing that's going to change that. There's nothing that is going to affect. You can't change someone. And even if you can, if you can try to coerce them, if you can manipulate them, you shouldn't, People are the way they are for a reason. And it's hard to understand that, but to understand them, maybe it's just me, but it seems like every single interaction that I've had with people ends badly because of some small, minuscule detail that I can't believe couldn't be overlooked or, allowed to be explained or forgiven. They don't let it go, and then they turn around and hate you for it, to the point where they think that you've been lying the entire time and will make everything your fault and push you away and, forget about you completely. And then I'm left with even less than nothing now. So, I have social anxiety, but it's not because of that. It's because people scare me. And honestly, I'm not really sure why that is. But I feel like I've always had it because, and here's something that I've probably said before because I always say it. Being lonely doesn't mean that you're alone, you know? If you're spending time alone by yourself, you know, you can do stuff, you're fine. You don't really, truly feel alone until you are surrounded by other people. You're in a crowd and nobody's talking to you. You are seeing and watching people in front of you in real time, talking, laughing, enjoying their lives and spending time with other people, having fun without you. And that's what truly hurts. That's what makes you feel lonely. Is that you're not a part of them and you never could be. Doesn't matter what you say or do. People are going to be who they are, do what they do, and they'll do it without you. Trying to impress people or win their affection doesn't work. You know, it's good when, you know, people are impressed or thankful for you and what you do and what you've done. You know, friendship sort of lasts because of that, you know, the continued support and praise, but it's not where it comes from. That's a choice that they have to make for themselves. It's just how love works. There's nothing you could ever do to earn it. You know, you can't force it. It has to come from somewhere else, you know. Because you can give freely, but it's nearly impossible to take, and when you do, it's not the same. I try to spend time, money on people, get friends, latch onto them because I am clingy. I am desperate for, I don't know. I honestly don't know what the solution is, what I'm looking for, what's going to make, you know, what's going to make me happy. And that's honestly the biggest problem, is that I don't know what people could give me that would satisfy what I'm trying to accomplish here. I have so many problems that I don't know how to solve, and it, you know, just keeps making me more upset, keep having more baggage, and I can't lose any more people. I can't hurt any more people. I can't bother anyone, or else I'm just finished. It's come to a point where I don't know I'm not at the end of my road, so to speak. I've always felt like I've had no options and I'm not sure what to do or where to go, but I feel like this is a turning point, and I'm not sure for what. I'm not sure where this is leading. hope it's for the better. You know, I am trying. I am trying new things. I'm breaking out of my routine, my shell, my casual and common things that I turn to. I need to stop spending money on people. I need to stop trying to rely on people to fix me and solve my own issues and make me happy. That's not their job. That's not their fault. One of my biggest problems is how passionate I am, how attached I get to specific things. You know, little things mean so much to me that normal people would be able to overlook or ignore or just be able to carry on. But they affect me and they build up, and I don't know how to let it out. I also don't know how to explain it to people so that they can understand, you know, be aware and not necessarily help me, but, you know, understand when I do have a meltdown, I guess. I don't know. And I can't just not care. I care too much. I care about each and every person. I love everyone. Because to love someone, not just romantically, not just platonically, to love someone as a friend, as family, as that special someone. Love, in and of itself, is simply to care about someone else more than yourself, before yourself, you know. There are so many people that can, you know, take care of themselves, are selfish enough to, you know, keep themselves happy. I don't know how. I always think of other people first. And it's not just because I hate myself and who I am, my situation in my life. You know, I think that's how it started. But I'm at this point now where I'm so locked in. You know, I could blame it on not having a childhood, being bullied and suppressed, not having the options or opportunities to learn and try things, but honestly it's myself, because I did this to myself. I know I did. I forced myself into this situation. I wanted to be helpful. I wanted to be nice. I wanted to be good. I wanted to be silent, not asking for anything, not making a commotion, and not causing any problems for anyone. But I've choked myself into something that I can't get out of. I can't even cry. That's how locked in I am. I have hidden away. I have locked my senses down. My feelings are non-existent. And all I have is this permanent fixture. This malleable material that I'm made of has slowly but surely solidified into this cold exterior all the way through. And I don't know how to think. I don't know how to feel. I don't know. Hi, Goblin. It's nice to see you. I think I love you too, Goblin. But you're wrong. I'm not okay. But that's all right. You know, no one's okay. You know, everyone's different, unique, going through their own struggles. You know, everyone has problems. No one's capable of dealing with everything. They shouldn't be able to. You know, nobody's perfect. I hide mine a lot easier. That's my skill that I've learned. I just got back and I feel like I have done the same thing. Yeah. You know, when I was very young, I matured. I locked away my emotions. I grew up. It's not what a child should do. But I will say that it didn't come out of necessarily a bad place, out of desperation. It came from a place where I was being bullied. I was retarded. I was a failure. And I managed to step above that. But, you know, I wish I had those opportunities. I wish I had a childhood to try things, but, you know, I didn't. And one of the earliest lessons that I learned when I was very young is that I am who I am. And there's no reason, there's no point in trying to hold on to these dreams and delusions of what if, or, you know, I spent so much time. I wasted so many opportunities in life daydreaming and wishing and thinking about if I was someone else, if I could be, you know, just different, rather than actually taking the opportunity to live my life, pursue the things that, you know, I did still enjoy. But doing so in moderation, not just falling on one simple point. I'd like to say that for the first time in my life, I feel like I have friends, but honestly, and here's the horrible truth, is that I don't. I don't feel like I have friends. And I know that's not true, but that's legitimately how I feel. That's how disconnected and cold I am. That is how deep this goes. And I wish I could just forget about it. I wish I could just overlook it. And I try to. On a daily basis, I try to live in the moment for that day and to do the best that I can to reach out to as many people as I can, to help them, to lift them up and make them feel happy and loved, because I know how horrible it is to not have someone to help you. I may seem like a social butterfly. I may seem random and just trying to reach out, annoying even, messaging people constantly. Some of it is that I'm trying to get attention, trying to not feel alone, but some of it really is that I am just trying to help, because I don't want anyone to live through what I've lived through. To feel what I feel. All of the times I've looked longingly at someone else, jealousy, envious of who they are, wanting to be that. People need to hear that, need to know how special and important they are. Because otherwise, they're just going to spend their time wishing and wanting and not realizing what they do have. Man, have you been to a psychologist? No. I see one for family reasons, and it's just really nice to just talk to someone you have no connections to. Not saying you need to. I have tried to talk to my parents about seeing a psychologist, to seeing any kind of doctor. I've been to the dentist once in my life. That's about the only sort of medical history that I've had. I've been to this one guy that talks to people that are trying to get rehab from, not necessarily people that are getting out of jail, but overcoming addictions and whatnot. I talked to him, and I think he just treated me like a kid, was just being nice and saying like, hey, tell me about like your hobbies and what are your interests. And I didn't have anything to tell him. I do remember that when my parents were separated, that they went to, I think, family psychologists, and I got taken along. But I think I was in the room, but sort of told to go play with toys or something. I don't even really think that they interacted with me at all. Yeah. I have tried to reach out. I've gone online searching for things. 7 cups is probably like a good one. I'm sure some of you have heard that. I've done suicide hotlines and whatnot. Not that I am suicidal. I am not. But it's funny because in all of those situations, I would sign up. I would make an account. But, honestly, even when I tried to reach out to people who were, qualified and whatnot, I always seemed to find people that were worse off than me, that were in more pain and struggling. And so I was always the person that would step in to help them. And, I guess I never actually, got any help, basically, because I was always helping other people, and I guess it was always assumed that I was good. Not to saying that, I'm not good, but, there are people that, are struggling with their own thing. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying or trying to say. I not sure where to go from here, how to continue this conversation. Um I did a lot of research when I was young, you know, when I had all that time by myself. I was studying and trying to understand, you know, life, psychology, how the brain works, you know, social interaction, and, you know, chemistry. Trying to decipher myself. And I learned very little because it all seemed very generic, and they always came back to, we don't really know, and each person is individual and specific. So, you know, it is important to talk to a psychologist that can decipher you and help coach you through dealing with yourself, I guess. IDK, how it works where you are here in Australia, we just go to a general practitioner doctor and give them a basic overview of what's wrong, and then they recommend you to a place. Yeah. I in America, I'm pretty sure you can just like go to a hospital or whatever and be like, "Hey, can I talk to someone?" Like, or I guess just on a phone or email, you know, like say like, "Hey, this is sort of my situation. Who do I, you know, who's the I guess not expert, but you know, get relayed from there." Um, yeah. Um, yeah. My problem is that I don't think taking pills is going to help fix my chemistry imbalance. You know, I will say that from time to time, I do have depression. And for those of you who don't know what depression is not sadness. You know, people all the time, when someone say that they're feeling depressed, you know, sometimes they're just sort of down or whatever. Or if someone is depressed, people will tell them, "Well, just be happy, you know. Stop. Have you tried stop being depressed? Why don't you just go do something, you know?" It's not that easy, because depression is not just, you know, an emotional weight. It's not just, you know, a feeling of uneasiness or concern or stress. Depression in and of itself simply is a disconnection from everything. You don't feel hungry. You don't feel tired. You don't even feel sad. You don't feel angry. You don't feel happy. You don't feel anything except maybe fear, you know? And it's such a dark place that it does drive you insane sometimes. But, and here's a, you know, I will say that I've been in that situation enough that sometimes, you know, I just can't get the energy to think, to feel, to even try. But, you know, there is a part of my mind that knows that, hey, I should get some food and maybe just take a nap, you know, just get over it. Sometimes I'm smart enough to get up, walk around, you know, start doing something. And sometimes that'll distract me enough to get out of it. But I feel like one of my problems is that I am distracted from accepting things. And that's why anxiety goes with it so often. Yeah, exactly. Because it freaks you out to not be able to feel anything. it's more than just numbness. It's actual loss and disconnection from, you know, being a normal person where you're sitting or standing, like looking around, seeing and experiencing things. Depression is like this uncontrollable thing that just envelops you. I don't know if anyone's ever been to like one of those sensory chambers, but basically what it is that I think you like you strip down to like some very bare clothing. Sometimes you can do it naked, but usually they like make you wear underwear or whatever, or some sort of bathing suit. And it's like this very dark room, and it's completely encapsulated. And once they close the door, there's no light that comes in, and there's usually a liquid in there that you go in and sit in. And basically, while you're in it, you just like you can't hear anything, you can't see anything, you can't feel anything. You're just floating. It like completely deprives you of all of your senses. And it's an interesting experience. You want to try it? Yeah. I would recommend it to a lot of people. I've seen like some videos of people doing it. Even Mythbusters did it. They tried it. And it was, not like a life-changing experience, but it was enough of an experience that it was interesting. And I guess not necessarily broadens your horizons, but it's makes it interesting, I guess. So if anyone wants to try depression, I don't know, that's like a thing you can do, I suppose. It's I've always wanted to do an escape room too. Those seem really fun because I like puzzles and whatnot. And I also don't get scared. Like nothing scares me. I'm also not ticklish. I've also don't feel a whole lot of physical pain. Like even if I get battered, bruised, and I'm bleeding, or cut, or whatever, I don't feel a lot of pain. Even when I'm kicked between the legs, or in the throat, or I get the wind knocked out of me, nothing frightens me or intimidates me anymore, which is a little sad. And yet I'm still like held back by, impacting other people, like going up and introducing myself or just talking to people. I don't know how to put it into words. Here, I'll think about how to put it into words while I refill my water. I figured out how to describe it. I want you to imagine you're on your deathbed, or maybe you're beside someone's deathbed. Someone is about to leave forever, and you know that. What are your last words? What's something you're gonna say to someone to help them feel good as they pass on, I guess, before they're lost to time and they don't remember anything? Or what do you say to that person? And if you're leaving, what do you want to hear, or what do you want to say to them? And I guess if you have someone that's leaving, what do you want them to say to you? What are you hoping before that person leaves your life entirely, forever? What do you say to them? What words mean anything in this crucial moment? That's how it feels. That's how it feels every time I talk to someone. Because I never know if this is going to be last time. If I say something wrong, that I'm just completely disconnected from their life. If, God, IDK, the thought of death and the probable nothingness is probably the only thing that scares me a lot. Yeah. That's why I'm kind of, I'm really attracted to legacy, you know. That's the reason why I started a YouTube channel, is because, you know, I have a bad memory, so I wanted to, I guess, make memories and preserve those, but also pass those along to other people. You know, I want to affect other people. I want to make an impact. I want to leave something behind. That's why I want to write stories. That's why I want to make movies and music and art. Not because I want to be important. I don't want to be famous. I don't need to make an impact, but I want to leave something behind that could help someone else. You know, I don't want my time here to be worthless. I don't want it just to be, you know, my experience and struggling with my experience. You know, who cares about my feelings? Truly, you know, this is all finite, and it's gonna be over before we know it. Which is a bad way of looking at it, I know, but it's more the thought of, will I be aware of the nothingness, or will I just stop? Yeah, you know, and, you know, I don't necessarily want to go into religion, especially at this point. I kind of want to just sort of continue with the topic I am discussing, rather than going off on a tangent. But I want to have kids, and they're, you know, people say that there's no greater feeling than bringing another life into this world, but it's also very terrifying, you know, to make another person, to have that responsibility. And a lot of parents will, you know, feel the need to make them perfect. Like, every single parent's desire is to give their children all of their strengths and none of their weaknesses. But that's not how it works. They are a new person, and you can help them, you can coach them, you can teach them, but you can't shape them or mold them into something that they're not. And I know that from personal experience of my parents didn't understand me for the longest time. My dad thought that I was just, you know, complacent and uncaring. But I'm patient, you know. I am capable of accepting very little. But there is so much that I want. There's so much that I want to do, so much that I want to, you know. And honestly, that's what kept me from killing myself. Because I'm not done here. I'm not ready to leave. I'm not ready. I'm not coward enough to leave all this behind and leave other people to deal with my problems. You know, not just my dead body, they're going to have to deal with that, but, you know, all the things that I am connected with, you know, there, I'm not, I may not be strong enough to handle it, but I'm not weak enough to leave it behind. I have bullied myself to overcome myself. That's what strength is. It's not having the power to do something. Strength is being willing to try and fail and keep trying. Because every single time you fail, you don't lose, you learn something. You learn something about yourself, something about what you're trying to do and the wrong way to do it, and you can know how not to do that next time. And if you can't avoid it, now you know how to react to it and respond and keep moving. That's, you know, freaking video games. You know, people say that Dark Souls is a difficult game. It's really not. You have every opportunity to explore, to die, come back, and, you know, you've learned, you've progressed. You know, you get stronger, and you have complete freedom to try again or give up and do something else. But at least you can keep going. You know, that's what life is. You know, none of us are powerful enough to overcome every obstacle. That's why we need to band together and work together and help each other and give each other assistance. And, you know, because we can't make it on our, we don't have every tool necessary to achieve at everything. That's why we support each other. Because each of us are, you know, good at something. You know, if someone is bad at balancing, then they're probably good at, you know, falling. You know, being good at falling is actually a good skill. It's a skill that I learned in drama class. You know, being able to collapse and not stiffen up and take damage. You know, that's a skill that you can learn, is falling. Which actually, I guess, makes a lot of sense for who I am, and, you know, it's a great metaphor for my entire life. But, you know, if someone's tall or short, that could be a strength and a weakness. It's these differences that give us abilities and opportunities to do something different than the people beside us. That's why we need to work together to overcome everything. You know, and I learned that, you know, sometimes you don't just have, you know, what you're born with, what you have now, what people have told you isn't who you are. You can always change. You can always grow. You can always progress. You can always try harder. You can always do better. And that's why we need to keep pushing, need to keep trying. I can always do better. You know, every single time I did schoolwork or art or writing or anything that I've ever did, I always looked at it and realized I can do better. Sometimes because I know I've done better. I can look back at something that I feel proud of and accomplished. Maybe it's because I, you know, got a compliment or whatever, but I've just been able to look at it and accept and appreciate it and feel good about it. And when I do something else and realize that it's not up to, you know, the same standards of whatever the other relatable thing was, I'm unhappy with it because I know I can do better. You know, people look at me as a perfectionist. I'm not looking for perfection. I know my skills. I know my abilities. The bar that I have for myself is much higher than I believe most people do. You know, people say it's better to, you know, aim for the moon and miss because you at least land amongst the stars, which I think is, you know, fun and all. You know, it's all bullshit. Here's the other one. People say it's better to aim high and miss than to set low expectations and meet them. But sometimes you do have to be realistic. That's what life is. But you should always feel free to dream. To pursue something that you normally wouldn't be able to. That's how we grow. Anyone that's ever done muscle training knows that it's not just about picking something heavy that you can't lift and keep trying to do it. It's about supporting yourself. It's about eating properly. It's about getting in the proper physical position, stretching. It's about starting lower and strengthening that muscle and continuing to push yourself until you can get to those stronger tasks and abilities. So you have to start realistic. You have to be able to do something achievable and do it consistently and constantly, that you know where you're at, and then keep progressing. Keep trying new things and pushing forward. And sometimes you can't. And that's how you overcome yourself. Just like, freaking All Might. And I learned this before watching My Hero Academia. But the way that you become stronger, more powerful, is by continuing, not just pushing yourself, but you can overcome yourself, your own abilities and limitations. You can be better and, do harder and unbelievable things that you never thought possible. You want to know how? It's simply because you're not doing it for yourself. When you realize that you can draw on other people, if you can absorb their powers for a spirit bomb, you can get stronger. You find a strength within you that wasn't there before. Just like how a mother can lift a car to save her child, when you call upon this ability, this innate nature of mankind that we all have, to strive to do something better, the impossible even sometimes, we can do it because we're sure as heck not gonna give up and just stay here to die. It is a fundamental and undeniable part of man that when faced with extinction, every option is an alternative. Sometimes you have to think outside the box. Sometimes you have to be willing to attempt something that you wouldn't be able to do normally. Maybe it's physically, maybe it's mentally, emotionally. Sometimes it's something you don't want to do, but it's not necessarily something you have to do. But those are how you progress. That's how you push yourself and overcome your own abilities and inabilities, is by not doing it for yourself, because you can do it for them. When you stop living for yourself and start living for other people, you find yourself able to achieve things unimaginable. And I don't know how else to describe it other than it's this insane, it's crazy. It really is. But it's real, it's tangible, and it's achievable. And I swear it to you. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where. It doesn't matter what's been said or done. People love you. People will support you. Maybe you haven't met them yet. That's why you have to keep looking. If you just are willing to accept where you are, that's fine. The only thing that you have to do, the only reason why you were put on this planet, is to be who you are. And if you can do that, Congratulations. You know, you've achieved something that most of the rest of us couldn't. But you can also do more. You know, you don't have to just exist. You don't have to just be complacent and confident in who you are. You can, and I promise you can, you know, do better. Great things. You can reach out and impact other people in ways that you didn't think possible. You know, just smiling at someone can heal their soul. And you wouldn't know. You may never know. But it's real. I promise you that. If you are willing to be vulnerable, to go out and do something, to try anything, you can and will impact other people. Maybe it's for good, maybe it's for bad, but it will still help them. Maybe it'll hinder them. But you know, that's how we grow. Sometimes we are constrained. Sometimes we have to live like that for a long time before we're able to break free. But we learn, we adapt, we overcome. Because against everything, you know, people talk about humanity, you know, this natural and innate ability to care for other people, to, you know, want to support them, and yet all people ever talk about is how much we want to kill each other. But how do you think we got to the top of the food chain? How do you think we've been able to invent, create, discover civilization? Humanity is more than just, you know, caring for your fellow man. Humanity in and of itself is this not just innate primal instinct. It's this ability that when, you know, I don't know if you've ever looked at someone that's like succeeded like exponentially against all odds, against everything. They've been challenged. Albert Einstein was told that he was going to fail math, and he became the most brilliant mathematician of all time. His brain did work differently. It was difficult for him to understand, remember, and work through math, but the thing about math is that once you start small, you can figure it out, you can learn it, you can progress. You know, you may not be able to memorize your times tables. You know, some people have photographic memory and can do that, but you can figure it out. If you know the basic understandings, you can work through it. The point I'm trying to make here is humanity is more than just caring. It's this ability to overcome against all obstacles. Because even if we can't win, we will not lose. We will not allow ourselves to simply be walked over, to be left in the dust and be just nothing, to be what everyone else tells us to be. You know? Choking on water. Hold on. I died live on stream the way I wanted to go. Oh, that's bad. Hold on. Ah. Yeah. But how do you think the first person succeeded? Because they were told that they couldn't. I don't know. I don't know. I started this stream with such, you know, negative energy. Now look at where I am. I'm freaking yelling at people, inspiration. And that's not to say that I'm better. You know, I don't have to allow myself to be constrained forever, you know. I don't have to just live my life as this thing that's, you know, this is who I am. I'm this horrible person that's, you know, suffering. I don't have to live my life like that. It is hard though. It could be impossible. But you can do it. And even if you can't do it by yourself, there are people that can help you. These are things that I didn't get to hear when I was younger. Nobody ever gave me these, not just words of encouragement, but life truths. You know, it's, you know, it's, I was going to say, it's these little things that matter, but, you know, little things add up. Little by little, a little becomes a lot. You just gotta hold on to what you can, you know. And what you can't, you know. People say that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But sometimes, you know, things do hurt that do hamper you, you know. If you're walking along and someone stabs you through the chest, you might be able to heal from that. But if you get your legs broken, that's gonna slow you down. And people also say, you know, if you lose something and you're still alive, then you didn't need it to survive, or you didn't need to live. But you know, sometimes it really hurts. You know, if you lose someone that you love, you don't need it. You know, it's not gonna keep you alive, but you know, it is important. You know, it's not wrong to want things. The difference between wanting and needing is a pretty big gap, but people overlook it a lot. If it doesn't let you grow or glow, let it go, you know. But it's good to want things. It's good to, you know, have dreams, hobbies, passions, to pursue something that you aren't, that you don't have. Honestly, that's what life is all about. Every single day, you breathe in, you breathe out, you let go, you gain, you know, you live and breathe. Life sucks and then you die, but you can spend each day in pain and, you know, struggling to survive until the next, and, you know, wallowing in whatever you've got going on. Or you could reach out and try to find a ray of hope somewhere. Try something different. If things suck, try something else. Even if that thing also sucks, at least it's different. People get burned so much when they have relationships. It's not why you should stop. And I know that it's hypocritical coming from me. It is. I don't take a lot of my own advice. But the reason why I know this advice is because of what I do, what I experience. And I am trying. Now more than ever, I am trying to move past, to grow, and overcome. It all starts with getting out of the routine. Not just living the day to day and, making it by until, you get just an hour of free time and you can sort of forget for a little bit. Or for me, it was getting to sleep. I didn't just daydream. I would dream at night too. I would spend so much of my free time sleeping because I just wanted to escape, to stop feeling. And it's hard. And sometimes you can't reach out. Sometimes you don't know how. Sometimes there is nothing out there. But that's why I'm trying to reach out. Because there needs to be other people that find those that don't know or can't help themselves. The world needs more heroes, but what it really needs is more people that are willing to listen and understand that there are other people out there that are different, that are also willing. You're probably not going to find the person that's going to fix you, solve your problem, but they'll be with it through you. They'll help you make it. They're going to suffer too, and they're going to need help too. And you can help them. Sometimes you don't have to do anything but be there or just be yourself. Sometimes that in and of itself helps people. I know it helped me. I'm in love. And I'm not even sure if it's real or not. I'm not sure if I'm just latching on to someone again or trying to find something in someone, put them on a pedestal and believe that there's something there that's not. Coming from personal experience of being bullied, belittled, pushed down, told things about myself that aren't true, at least that's wrong. But when people like you for something that you're not, when they put you on a pedestal and surround you and tell you that you're something that you're not, it's hard, because it should be a compliment, you think. And I'm not just talking about like when people say you're cute, you know. It doesn't have to just be physical description. It doesn't have to be personality. It doesn't have to be anything about you. Sometimes people are blind and will see what they want to see, and even if they don't, they will lie to themselves and convince them of anything, for better or for worse. Sometimes you're just a placeholder for what they want, because they can't have what they want, or it just doesn't exist. And will try to use you to make themselves feel better. The reason why I was able to move past being bullied is because I realized that what they were doing was wrong. For the longest time, I didn't know that. I didn't realize that what they were doing was putting me down, making me feel worse. I thought it was natural. I thought it was common. It was all I had known. I didn't realize that what they were saying wasn't true. And slowly but surely, I realized what was happening. And I got angry. But then something else dawned on me. That if I was, what they said, if I was less than nothing, and they had to put me down to raise themselves up, if they had to bully me in order to feel good, how low were they? If I was the only thing that they were better than, I felt bad for these people. I pitied them, because I knew what I was. I knew that I was nothing. I knew that I had no skills. I had no abilities. But what about these people? I didn't hate these people. I cared for them. I felt sorry for them. But there was nothing I could do for them. But when someone tells you they like you, they love you, that they want you in their life, that you're special to them, and it's not true, and it's all a lie, that hurts more. When someone tells you that you're special, that you do have abilities, that you mean something, and they're wrong, that hurts more. That's why I try so hard not to impact people in the wrong way, for good or for bad. If I do something that lifts someone up or pushes them down that is incorrect, I know that I have failed. Not just them, but myself. Because I am trying to be better than that. To be better than myself and all those other peoples that I have experienced. Because I know I am better than that. I don't need to put other people down. I don't need to make myself feel better. I don't need to lift other people up or, confuse them or try to make something work. You know, you should never go into a relationship being willing to accept them. To learn to love someone, be honest, tell them it's not going to work. Betrayal only comes from the people you trust. Yeah. And trust isn't something that you can earn. It's not something that you can, achieve. It's only something that can be given. And you can try everything, you could do everything right, but it doesn't matter. It's not about you, it's about them. And there's very little that you can do to affect them in their mind and change their opinion, I suppose. I care too much. I try too hard. But, at least I do care. At least I am trying. I don't know. I wish I could be normal. Yeah. Life sucks and then you die. But there is no normal. Everyone wants to be just like everybody else. But you can't, because you're not them. You can dress up, you can, try to do all the right things, and and honestly, being normal is boring. It's the weird people that you want to hang out with. Those are fun, That's what it means to be quirky, I guess. It's these individualities, these quirks and differences and whatever you want to call them, that makes people interesting, special, unique, and worth getting to know and learning. I have someone that I don't know how I feel about them. And I don't need to know how they feel about me. But I'd like to. I'd like to get to know them, spend some time with them, see how it goes, at least try it. Because it's better to try and to fail than to spend the rest of your life wondering, what if? Even if you're shut down, at least and maybe that person is a jerk and you shouldn't be chasing after them. I've been in that situation too. It's better to know that it's like everyone says no one is normal and everyone is different, but in saying that makes everyone normal. What? I'm not sure what that means. There's like everyone is an outlier, which means that nobody's an outlier, If everyone is a winner, then everyone's a loser. There's no point in trying or whatever. It's only because there are people that fail that make it worth trying to succeed. If everyone could succeed, then everyone would be doing it. But that's why it's worth trying. It's only these trials and tribulations that make the succeeding, the prize, worthwhile. The only reason why flowers are beautiful are because they wither and die. It's these moments that we have to realize what we're fighting for. I think it was Winston Churchill that during the war effort, they were going to shut down schools and payment for art funding. And he said, if we do that, then we have nothing that we're fighting for. It's the freedom, it's the ability to, pursue that makes us stronger. If we were all on a set path with the proper amount of, I'm talking about communism. Communism is we pretend to work and they pretend to pay us, if we have these set paths and only a set amount that we have to achieve, then there's no point in trying to do anything. I was talking to someone yesterday about this video game that he was playing, that I told him that I didn't like because it gave you the illusion of freedom. And I relate it to Five Nights at Freddy's, because Five Nights at Freddy's has no challenge because there's only one solution. You have to press the buttons in the right order, and that's it. There's no individuality to it. There's nothing that you can try that would be different than anybody else. You just have to follow the proper sequence. And I guess the probability of failing is what gives it challenge, but I think that's just stupid. If it requires no skill, then what's the point of attempting it? If something's just hard, if it's difficult for the sake of being difficult, then there's no point, I don't know. When it's hard to find motivation, and sometimes it takes other people telling you what to do. You're not always, pursuing, something that you like, something that you want to do. Sometimes, a lot of times, we're chasing that paper. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it opens many doors. But honestly, it's just the way that the world turns. If you want to survive, you need money. You have to pay taxes and bills. You have to pay for everything. But you don't have to charge people for the things you do. If you work, you don't have to ask for payment. And that's called friendship. Sometimes you can give freely. But I'm here to tell you, don't give too much, because you can. I wish it wasn't true, but it is. And you can never give enough that they're gonna give back. Because it doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what you do. There's nothing that you can do to earn it or achieve any sort of goal. It only depends on the other person. If we all gave away freely, it would be an interesting world. It wouldn't be wonderful. It would be chaos. It would not be, there needs to be some order, some system to keep people in line, because people aren't bent towards giving. People are really good at taking. Except me. I haven't spent a lot of time taking. I don't know how. I don't know how to ask. It's impossible for me sometimes. And sometimes I really need something. Anything sometimes. But I can't, and I'm just killing myself. Every single girl that I've liked, I've never told her until I've known it was too late. It's the unknowing that's scary. So I never told. Actually, I've never asked. I've never asked someone out. I've only ever told them that I was in love with them, and I only did it when I knew that there was no other outcome except the obvious outcome, which is, they're already taken. We're never going to see each other again, and our lives are going to continue on with, the aspect that my time was wasted. Because it was too much of a bother. It was too scary not to know how they were going to act and how that was going to impact me and them. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't affect them without knowing the outcome. And there was probably several times where it could have worked. It could have been okay. Probably could have even enjoyed it, if only for moments, days, weeks, months. Longest relationship I've ever had was a month long. The only relationships I've ever had were freshman year of high school. And I had about 3 of them all within the same month, weeks at most. The month-long one. Oh, actually, I was a junior. That was the longest one. And I've only been in 5 relationships. Oh, the 4th one, I was still freshman year. But I didn't ask, and actually I wasn't asked. We were sitting in class in the dark. She was leaning against me because of my history. I have no personal boundaries. I don't know when people are, being flirty or, being clingy or whatnot. I don't have any personal boundaries, and I just let people do whatever they wanted to me. She was just leaning against me, falling asleep, and then she leaned over and kissed me. And for the rest of the day, she didn't let go of me. After that class, she took me behind the cafeteria building and she just kissed me a whole lot. And you know, I've kissed people before, and I've let people kiss me before, but this was something else. And you know, I lost a lot of things with this girl that I wish I hadn't. But I learned to love this girl, and honestly, we were in love. And the only reason why it ended was because I was sick one week, and I told her that it's probably not good for her to be around me right now. Probably good to keep some space. I didn't see her the next day. She didn't call me that weekend. I tried to find her Monday, and she was dating someone else because she thought I said our relationship needed space. And then he got her pregnant a bit later. She had a miscarriage, got her pregnant again, left her, came back, married her, and she's really struggling right now. But technically speaking, we never officially dated. We never officially broke up. And that's the best relationship I've ever had. You know, there's probably like 2 or 3 more people that I've had close interactions with that, you know, very brief, never really got anywhere. We're not intimate. But, you know, just a handful of times of sharing my life with another person. And I wish I had tried more. Not just romantic relationships, not dating, but actually interacting with people and spending time with them and trying, you know, reaching out and attempting something other than just the monotony of complacency, of acceptance of the hole that I was in. I should have tried. You know, people can always say that they should have tried harder, but I didn't even try. I don't know what love is. What real love is. What I always just tell myself, you know, it's like friends or family. You just care about people. You want to take care of them, you know, make them happy. And that's what we're here for, because I don't know how to be happy. I don't know how to feel loved, but I can certainly try to help other people. That's the best I've got. But there's someone else right now that I don't know how to feel about her. And I'll probably never ever meet her. Not unless I try super hard. Not unless I become a streamer. If I become famous, make the right friends and connections, and maybe, just maybe, I might have a glimmer of a chance of being in the same room as her. And even then, what would I do? Would I just stand back again and let let it slide past like I always have? Or would I actually be able to say something? To try. I don't need to succeed. I need the opportunity and to actually take it. And not just with love, but with life in general. You know, this pursuit is what lets us know that we're alive. This pain lets us know that we're, still breathing. As long as we can feel something, anything, it's good. It's never bad, no matter what it is. As long as you try your best, no one can ever fault you. As long as you're being yourself, it doesn't matter what other people think. And honestly, you'll stop worrying how much people think about you when you realize how seldom they actually do. Think of like the last person that you talked to, and like if you made a positive or negative impact on them, and wonder how the rest of their day is going, and if what you said actually meant anything to them at all, if it impacted them, if it helped them through their day or hindered them. Honestly, it probably didn't do much at all. They're probably still doing their own thing, moving forward, because that's what people do. I don't matter, and that's fine. My words don't affect, my opinion does not affect people. I can try. I can continue, reaching out. I can try to make an imprint on them. But it depends on the person. It depends on if they're willing. In my entire life, I've been unwilling. I'm looking over at my Twitch pics, or my Twitch pics. I've got two going. Polls on what sort of topics you'd want discussed. Nobody's voted on that. On games I should play, freaking someone I don't like picked VR chat, because I don't like VR chat. VR chat is weird. It's scary. Honestly uncomfortable. But here's the other thing, and this is what I've been saying this entire time. That's good. That's what makes you know that you're alive, that you're trying, and that you're actually doing something. It's what lets you know you're growing. So you know what? We're gonna get on VR chat right now. We're gonna do it. Not because I want to, but Because I probably need to. Actually, I'm really hungry. So, I'm gonna get food. But I'll be back on in a little bit playing VR chat, and maybe I won't find anything, but I'll have at least tried. I'll see who's online, join them, see if I can stand being around, and then I'm gonna try some random open worlds. See if I can't make some new friends. Because there's nothing I hate more than socializing. So that's what I'm gonna do. But for now, I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna get some food because I should really eat some food. I just haven't been feeling good, but I should eat something probably. It's been about 2 hours, which is usually where I do the podcast at anyways. I have 123 views, which is 1, 2, 3. So that's interesting. Currently I have only 3 viewers. My biggest amount of viewers that was in this stream, and actually I've ever had, is 5. But it's funny because every single time I mentioned I'm in love with someone, or I think the second time I said it, there's someone in my life, I think that's what I said, I lost a viewer whenever I said that. So maybe that's a sign that I shouldn't talk about my emotions and what I'm going through, or at least in the, specifically in the love category. Yeah, I don't have any parting words, but if you've been here, maybe not even the entire time, but for part of it, I think sort of the gist that I'm trying to go for, I guess. So those of you who are here are not joining in on the last bit, I'm sure. But be yourself, try harder, and don't worry. What else? Life sucks and then you die. So just enjoy what you have, I guess. Man, these all sound like really bad out of context, but like, yeah. I guess that's why quotes are pretty dumb and boring. Here's one from a role model that I have. There's a little bit of weird in all of us. It's just up to us to embracing it. That's from a popular YouTuber, Captain Sparkles. And here's another one from one of my favorite music artists. She said, be yourself unapologetically. And that's from my main girl, Kesha. And with that, say goodnight. Good night.